everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Fumi Monet and I am a skincare, beauty, and lifestyle content creator. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite ways to do my makeup this fall, and it is this plum smoky eye, so stick around and see how I got this look. I'm going to go ahead and begin by prepping my skin, and today I'm using the CHANTEGAILLE. This is their Ultra Sun Protection Sunscreen Primer. I love this because it does have SPF 45, and I like to combine my sunscreen and my primer step as often as possible. So this is a really great option. And for the sake of applying a good amount of sunscreen, I'm going to do the 2-finger method with this primer, and I'm going to apply it generously to my skin. With sunscreen, in order to get adequate coverage, you want to make sure you're using the recommended amount, and generally that's around 1/4 teaspoon, but if you don't have a measuring tool around, we generally recommend that you do at least 2 to 3 full finger lengths of the sunscreen product. And so I also like to apply it to my neck as well. So this leaves my skin feeling nice and soft. It's not too oily, and because the weather is a little bit cooler now, I do like a dewier finish for my face. Okay. I'm going to prep my skin a little bit and apply a little bit of orange corrector under my eye because your girl has been tired lately. And I'm using the Conceal and Correct palette. And I'm applying that just under my eye. I don't want to actually do too much color correcting with the rest of my face because I'm actually using a pretty lightweight foundation today, and I just want my skin to look like skin. So I'll use like a flesh tone concealer over anything that I feel like needs extra coverage, but generally speaking, I think my skin looks pretty fine. Next up, I'm going to use the Pat McGrath foundation, and I use the shade Medium Deep 27. This is a beautiful skin-like foundation. It wears beautifully all day, and I just love how natural this looks. And so I'm going to use 2 pumps on my face, and I'm going to take kind of a dense brush and just pump 2 pumps of it on the brush. Next up, I'm going to conceal under my eyes, and I'm also using the Pat McGrath concealer as well. And this is in shade Medium Deep 24. And this is pretty much just my skin tone, but like maybe a shade lighter. And I also really like how naturally this blends under my eyes. So I'm going to as you can see, Medium Deep 24 just blends really beautifully with the rest of my face. It doesn't provide too much contrast with my under eye area, but I do want a little bit more of a highlight effect, so I'm going to also go in with another Pat McGrath concealer in the shade Medium Deep 20. I'm applying that just underneath my eyes, just to brighten them up. Next, I like to go back in with my foundation brush again and just make sure everything is blended out nicely. Next, I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever. This is their Matte Velvet Skin Powder, and just a flat, small powder brush, and I'm going to set my under eye. I also applied concealer on my eyelids as well to cancel out any discoloration. So I'm going to apply powder over my eye just to prep my eyelid area for the eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going to do my eyebrows now. I'm going to take the end of the eyebrow pencil and brush my brow hairs up so they can be nice and full. And then I like to take a pencil that has a broader tip and use that to shade in my brows lightly. That way I can build up color where needed. I just stroke the brush lightly to fill my brows in. Next, I like to take a smaller detailed brow pencil and I brush my brow hairs up again just to distribute that color well from earlier. And then I focus on drawing in really detailed hair-like strokes at the front of my brow. I just stroke it up. And the focus is the front of my brow and then a few strokes through to the end. If I do need to clean around my brows just to give them a little bit more shape, I will take that darker concealer that I used first and I'll use that to clean up around my brow. And I just prefer to use a concealer that's as close to my skin tone as possible. I would normally use my foundation, but since I use such a light coverage foundation today, I just went in with concealer. And I don't like to have super perfect brows, so I'm not worried about them being too sculpted, just tidy. Okay, so for my eye look, I'm going to be using the ANASTASIA Beverly Hills and Decay palette. And I got this last year, and as you can see, it's well loved. But I'm going to be using 3 shades from this palette. Actually, I'm going to be using 4 shades from this palette. So first I'm going to go in with Ginger, which is going to be my transition shade. And I'm using just kind of a big fluffy brush. And I'm going to blend it up and out in a windshield-like motion. Next, I'm going to go in with Edges, which, as you can see, I've already hit pan on. And I'm going to apply that in my crease. I'm going to blend that up. Okay, and now with a flat kind of dense brush, I'm going to take Pinker and Credit, and I'm going to just kind of blend those 2 colors together and apply it all over my lid. Now I'm going to take another fluffy brush, and I'm going to go back in with Pinker again. Lastly, I'm going to take the Stone palette from Urban Decay, and this is just a beautiful palette. And I'm going to take the shade Vibes, which is kind of a metallic plum shade, and I'm going to take the small flat brush that came with the palette, and I dampened it a little bit because these are like pressed glitters, and I'm going to apply that just to the center of my lid. Next, I'm going to go in with just a dark brown pencil because I didn't want it to be super harsh with a black pencil, and I'm going to line my upper and lower lash line, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna smudge it out. I'm going to go in with Pinker again, and I'm going to blend out that lower lash line. I'm really gonna pack the color on because I want it to stand out. Next, I'm going to take a smaller blending brush and go back in with Credit and smudge it along my lower lash line. Lastly, I'm going to take Mediate from that same palette, and I'm going to do a little bit of inner eye highlight detail work, and I'm using just a short detail pencil. And now I'm going to go in with some mascara, and I'm using the Dark Star mascara from MCGRATH, and I'm going to just use it to blend out my lashes and kind of. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer to warm up my complexion, and I'm using this NARS bronzer. It is Gienah. I'm just taking a large powder brush. This is the one from Sephora, and I'm applying it very generously because I love bronzer, y'all. Like, it's my top 3 makeup item. I do want to sculpt my face just a little bit as well, so I'm going to take Maldives from VESCA Beauty. I'm going to just carve out my cheeks. And I like to just blend up to give my face a lifted appearance. So you can kind of see that this side looks more sculpted than in this side. I'm also going to use that same powder to add a little bit of contour to my nose as well. Next, I'm going to take a berry colored blush. This one is Blushing Bride from Tarte. And I love how, this is a really beautiful blush. I love wearing this in the fall. I'm going to take a blush brush and just lightly apply that going up. And I'm just going to keep building up the color until I get the flush of berry that I want. This is a very pigmented blush, so I do like to start with a light hand, just so I don't overdo it. I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of a bronze rose gold highlight just to kind of match my inner corner a little bit. So I'm going to take the DIOR highlight palette and I'm going to mix these two colors together. I'm going to apply them at the top of my cheekbones. And my highlight points. And that bronze shade is just so beautiful. Like, I pretty much use it every day. But it's a really gorgeous color that just pops on my complexion. And then I'm going to apply just a little bit to my nose, just a little bit. And then to my lip as well. And one thing I like to do is also apply highlight to the center of my lips. I'm doing kind of a nude lip today, and so when I do this, it actually just looks really nice underneath the lip product that I'm using. I'm going to take a deep chocolate pencil. This is Chestnut from MAC. Next, I'm going to use, this is Nude Venus from Pat McGrath, and I love this bullet. It's just so pretty. And I'm going to apply it to my lips. And this is actually kind of a semi-sheer balm, but it's really beautiful. And I love using it because it's so easy to just apply on the go. Like, you don't even need a mirror. Lastly, I'm going to apply, this is Sweet Mouth from Fenty Beauty. And I'm applying that just to the center of my lips to add a little bit of pout. The last thing I like to do, because I do kind of have oily skin, is I'll take a pressed powder. This is the SEPHORA Micro Smooth Baked Powder and a powder puff. And I will actually use it to set my face. And I like doing this last because it kind of melds all the products together and gives my skin a really pretty airbrushed appearance. I also like to especially apply this over my brows as well because I feel like it softens my brows, so then they don't look too shiny or too dark. So I'll do a couple of passes of powder over my brow and in my smile lines as well, because your girl's 30 and she's got smile lines. You know what, actually I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more of that of the Vibes, that shimmery eyeshadow, just right to the center of the lid. And I'm going to take just my finger and pop it right in the center just to give it a little bit more of a wow factor. And it just looks so beautiful. I love this palette. This is a palette that you definitely need to use either a flat shader brush or even just your finger with it. It's a pressed glitter kind of situation, and so you want to use it over another color. I think you could probably use it on its own for just like a shimmery type of look, but the color itself will pop more if you wear it over something else. So this is the completed look. If you all enjoyed this video and you like this type of content, please be sure to hit the subscription button in the corner as well as the notification bell so you can get updates anytime I upload a new video. Additionally, you can find me on Instagram at FumiMonet. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you all next time.